What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top tech features found on the 2020 Subaru Forester. Now, if you guys are familiar with the channel at all, you'll be familiar with these tech reviews. Instead of doing an overview of the whole car, I have one of those, check the card above, but I do break down all the different technology features that set this car apart or just make it interesting in some way. So let me really quick run through the things that the 2020 Forester does not have that we see on some other 2020 Subarus, meaning the Legacy and the Outback so far that we've got. It does not have the 180-degree front view camera that we saw on the Outback and available on the Legacy. It does not have it at all. It's not available. This is the top trim. This is the Touring. This has every bell and whistle. It doesn't have it. It does not have the 11.6-inch display. I talked about that in my overview, but it was freshly redesigned, so I think they're just going to give it a few years, maybe next year, maybe the year after, to get that 11.6-inch display. It just has the standard like 8.5-inch display. It does not have any kind of 360-degree field of view, nothing like that. It does not have a rear view mirror camera like we see on the Ascent. It does not have any kind of media player thing like that. Now, you can get a package where you'll get 2 iPads and some wireless headphones. So you can get that if you want to, but nothing built in, no DVD player, no Blu-ray player, nothing like that. So that's everything it doesn't have that kind of other Subarus may have or other vehicles in this segment might have, but let's go ahead and jump into what it does have. Now, most of the technology features we're going to talk about are inside the cabin, but there are 2 on the outside that I want to hit on real quick. One being LED steering responsive headlights. So if you're unfamiliar with steering responsive headlights, basically, if you're driving a straight line, you take a turn, instead of the lights staying straight as your car turns, the lights are going to turn with your car. So that's kind of a cool feature to have. So steering responsive headlights up here that are LED. Now the second one is on the back, and it has to do with the tailgate. Now, unfortunately, this does not have the wave to open feature that we saw on the Outback. Don't know why. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think it would have been that hard to implement, but maybe we'll see it on next year's model. But this just has a normal lift gate. Now there's a bunch of different ways to open it. You can push the button underneath here, as we're all used to. If you're familiar with hands-free lift gates at all, not really hands-free, but push button lift gates. You've got 2 buttons up here. There's an easy close button, so you push that, it'll close and then lock when the key fob's out of a certain range. And then just the normal closing button. So you can close it like that. Additionally, you can use the key fob to open it. So you can just, let's go ahead and let it press and hold it. It'll beep and it'll open up right there for you. So not anything outrageous as far as technology goes, but it is nice to have that. Additionally, a couple of the things back here we'll just run through real quick. You do have just a standard rear vision camera, and you have these sensors around the vehicle that help with your rear automatic braking and showing you the distance between objects in your rear view. So that's pretty much everything here on the outside. You do have some parking sensors on the front as well, but let's go ahead and hop inside. All right, now inside there's quite a few features that I would consider top tech. And it kind of all starts here in the entertainment center, but there's a few things sprinkled around. So let's go ahead and talk about screens. Now, like I mentioned, you don't have that 11.6-inch display that you find on the Legacy and the Outback. Maybe next year, maybe the year after, who knows? It's really anyone's guess at this point. This just has the 8.5-inch display, but it's still a nice Starlink system. And I prefer it, honestly, over the 11.6-inch. So you've got standard phone mapping, My Subaru media, like Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, all that good stuff, Pandora, everything that you're used to seeing. And you've got your normal rear vision camera as well with the rear automatic braking and those level markers that kind of tell you how close you are to an obstacle. And I'll put the measurements on screen because people ask me all the time about that. But other than that, there's not a whole lot on here that really makes it stand out, but it's a great system nonetheless. Now, you've also got a little screen, I think it's about 4 inches up here on between these center gauges, and that'll give you your lane departure warning, your lane centering warning, your, I guess, front automatic braking or forward collision alert type systems, as well as your adaptive cruise control. Now, all those safety features come bundled with what I think is the best feature on Subarus, period, and that is the Eyesight driver assist system. Now, this is standard on all Foresters, it's standard on all Legacies, it's standard on all Outbacks, next year it'll be standard on all Crosstreks, it's standard on all Ascents. I mean, this thing is everywhere, and it's awesome, and it should be everywhere because it's by far the best safety system package out there. So you've got these two cameras that are right up top here that face outward. They give you all those systems I described, that front pedestrian braking, the adaptive cruise control, which also has kind of a system where if the car in front of you moves, like in traffic, it'll tell you an alert and move you forward, that kind of stuff. Lane centering, lane keep assist, all this kind of good stuff. You also have the rear automatic braking as well, which is awesome. That doesn't necessarily use the Eyesight cameras, but it's still mixed into that whole system. So really great safety. That's a huge feature here, which is unbelievable that it's standard on almost every Subaru now, which is just awesome. Now, on the topic of screens, again, we've got the 8.5, 8-inch one here, the 4.2-inch one here. You also have another color screen up top, and this gives you all kinds of vehicle information, so you can switch through using the info button. So it'll show you your media system that's playing, it'll show you miles per gallon, car information, time, it'll give you weather if you want it to, all the different systems that are active on your car, as well as your tire pressures and which way your car is angled, which is helpful sometimes, I guess, and just your simple like clock and temperature and stuff like that. Also, it works with the DriverFocus distraction mitigation system, which is only available here on the Touring, but is another awesome feature to have. Twofold. First, it lets you store up to 5 driver profiles that can then be used to automatically adjust climate control, your mirrors, your media preferences, and your seat placement. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that right now. So how this system works is you want to use the controls behind the steering wheel to navigate to the settings menu on the top display. Once you get there, you go to driver monitoring system, and then you can go to register user. So I'm gonna go ahead and register a new user. Then you want to move everything around to your desired settings. So I'll move the mirrors over for me. Move the seat a little bit. I'm gonna do it dramatically so you can see the difference. I'll go ahead and scoot all the way forward here. And then sure, I'll say, yeah, that'll be the one I want. So I'll hit set and then face forward until you hear a beep. It got me. Then you can put in a name and an icon. So I'll just do driver A since that's the default one. Hit set and it's complete. So then it says, hello driver A, whenever you get in the car, and it's gonna move my seat to these exact specifications. So let's go ahead and test that out. So I'll move the seat all the way back here and then turn the car off. It says, goodbye driver A. Go ahead and open the door so it kind of clears the system there. And then once I close this, you should see that the seat automatically starts moving forward once it scans my face. So boom. There it goes. It says, hello, driver A. It's scooting the seat all the way forward. It's adjusting my mirrors. It can turn on the climate control how I like it, if I like it warm or cold. However, wow, it put me really close, which is how I said it, so that's good. But it's a really just cool system, up to 5 driver profiles. So if you have if this is your family car and you want mom, dad, daughter who's just learning to drive, son who's a little older, you can have everybody here. You can even have a grandparent in here, and have everyone have their own specific seat, mirror, climate, and media settings, all automatically switching. You don't even have to do anything but set up the profiles, which I just love that. I think that's great. Twofold, I mentioned there were 2 different parts to it. So the second part is that it will tell you when you're distracted. Now this is kind of the love it or hate it kind of feature because it's a little bit annoying. But if you're driving and let's say you turn this way to look out the window, it'll beep at you and say, keep your eyes on the road. And some people love it, some people hate it. Good part is you can turn it off. So if you don't like that, turn it off. It doesn't have to ruin your day or anything like that. So that is pretty much everything here. Like I mentioned, no rearview mirror camera, no 180-degree forward-facing camera, no kind of 360 thing. Like I said, you have the driver profiles. You also have keyless access. I forgot to mention that outside, which is a feature I really like. You also have X mode, so you've got snow and dirt, and then the snow and mud feature, electronic parking brake, heated seats. These are 10-way power, 8-way power for passenger. You've got heated seats in the back. So lots of good stuff like that. As far as tech goes, you've got dual zone climate control, all that kind of stuff, but nothing that like is revolutionary necessarily, like you see on some of the other 2020s. You also kind of have a panoramic sunroof. That's not really tech, but it is a nice feature to have, and auto vehicle hold. Now you also have a Harman Kardon premium audio system that has a 576 watt equivalent amplifier and speaker system, which is a super nice thing to have. Now another cool thing you can do with the driver profiles is you can go under there and edit them, and name, phone number, address, all that kind of stuff. But you can also change the wallpaper, which I think is really cool. So if you don't like the default kind of starry Starlink system, you can do like rocks, which I think look really cool. And you can also change the background of the system. So right now I've got it kind of set, oh, there it is on those rocks. So you can see that there, which looks really cool. Now there are 2 different pages of that. So if you want something a little bit cleaner, you can go back, go to edit, next, skip, next. And then there's a couple different ones down here. So they have some nice like clean gradients. So I really like the green one, looks really nice. So if you pop that on there, you've got a full, fresh kind of different system that, you know, that may look different than maybe your friend's Subaru. So I think that's really cool. It's like changing your wallpaper on your phone. Just even if you do it seasonally, which is what I do all the time, like, you know, Thanksgiving's rolling around, you want to put it on a little bit more of an orangey color. Christmas rolls around, you want to put it on green. Just helps keep things fresh, and I really like that option because not every system has that. As far as features go for I/O, you've got a 3.5 millimeter jack as well as a USB-A port, 12-volt outlet there, and then in the back you have 2 USB-A ports for rear seat passengers. And guys, that's pretty much everything here on the 2020 Forester as far as tech features go. Again, I made a full review if you want to see all the design features and kind of what has carried over from 2019 and what's fresh for 2020. Spoiler alert, not a whole lot is fresh for 2020, but I'm expecting kind of bigger things next year for 2021. So I've got that review right here. I'll put it in the little card. Also have videos on the Outback Limited, the Outback Onyx Edition XT. Just made a full review of the 2020 Legacy. All of it right here on the channel, so check any of those videos out. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell us in the comments down below what's your favorite tech feature here on the 2020 Forester, and hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see all our future Subaru videos. And we've got plenty of other on this channel, as well as like Hyundai, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, all that kind of good stuff. So hit that subscribe button, you'll see all that content, and we'll see you in the next one.